This is a free-form scenario where you can play the game at your own pace. Try to capture the barbarian capital or conquer 70%. The leadership of your fledgling tribe has fallen on your shoulders. The first task is to unify a new nation under your rule. You're free to build your nation at your own pace. Occasionally, you may receive advice to help keep things moving, but otherwise, it's all up to you. This is your scout. Use him to discover rare resources or locate the enemy position. Scouts are very fast and can see farther than most units, but cannot attack. You can move your scout around the map manually or click the Auto Explore button to have him explore on his own. We need to build units to defend our nation and attack the enemy. In order to build a barracks, we need to research the first red military technology at the library. We need to build units to defend our nation and attack the enemy. In order to build a barracks, we need to research the first red military technology at the library. Looks like you've hit your commerce cap. That means some of the resources you're gathering are going to waste. Research the green commerce track at the library to increase the amount of resources you can gather. If you want to see more of the map, you can always zoom in and out by using the mouse wheel or pressing page up and page down on the keyboard. Try building the temple. This is a rare resource. Rare resources offer a wide variety of benefits to your nation. By placing the mouse cursor over a resource, you can see what specific bonuses it will provide. To take advantage of this resource, first create a merchant at your market. Then select your merchant and right-click on the rare resource. This is a merchant. Use merchants to take advantage of the rare resources scattered around the map. These resources provide a number of benefits for your nation. To enjoy these benefits, simply select your merchant and then right-click a rare resource to have him set up shop. Now that you've built a temple, you can research taxation upgrades to increase your wealth. Taxation is tied to the percentage of the map that you control. The more territory you control, the more wealth you will receive. Don't forget to conduct research at your library. Researching new technologies is vital to building your nation and advancing your people through the ages. By now, you should be thinking about advancing your nation to the classical age. As long as you've researched enough technologies at the library and you have sufficient food, the classical age will be available to you. Now would be a good time to begin collecting wealth for your nation. Create markets and caravans to set up trade between your cities. To increase your wealth income, create caravans at your market. Now that you're in the classical age, new methods of gathering resources are available to you. Remember, build mines to gather metal and universities to generate knowledge. If you don't have a lot of wealth or food, building new cities opens up new trade routes and allows you to build more farms. An empty university isn't a great source of knowledge. Click a university and click Create Scholars to gather more knowledge. Create at least 4 scholars. This is a general. Keep him near your troops to have them fight more effectively. If he has enough craft, represented by the blue line above him, he can use special abilities like forced march and entrenchment. Read more about these abilities by selecting your general and moving the mouse over the buttons in the lower left panel. We currently have 2 cities, but we can expand our nation and collect more wealth if we build more. Build a new city. Place it near the edge of your territory so that you'll expand your borders and control a larger portion of the map. Good job. You've built another city and expanded your territory. Remember to build more caravans to take advantage of the new trade routes that have opened up. To be able to effectively attack and capture enemy cities, we need to build a siege factory to build siege units like catapults. By now, you know how to gather all of your resources. If you run low on one, concentrate on increasing the gather rate of that resource. Remember to fill in your mines and universities and create a caravan for every trade route available. If you researched at least 2 of the science technologies and the classical age at the library, you can build granaries and lumber mills to increase your food and wood production. Units built at siege factories like catapults are lethal against buildings. By now, your nation should be advanced enough for you to concentrate on building a stronger military force. See if you can build an attack force powerful enough to seize one of your enemy's cities. Train 8 troops of your choice at the barracks. Remember, each unit has its own strengths and weaknesses, so try to train a variety of different types. Train 4 mounted troops at your stables. Build 3 siege weapons at your siege factory. You can't support any more people. You'll have to research the red military track at the library to increase your population limit. This is a spy. When not moving, she's invisible to most enemies. If she has enough craft, represented by the blue line above her, she can use special abilities like bribing enemy troops and informing you of your opponent's actions. Read more about these abilities by selecting your spy and moving your mouse over the buttons in the lower left panel. Excellent work. You've captured an enemy city and have begun assimilating it into your nation. There are a number of paths to victory in Rise of Nations. In this scenario, there are two common ways to win. The first way involves having 70% or more of the territory under your control. You can check your current percentage in the bottom right corner of the screen. The second way to win involves capturing the enemy capital. In order to do this, build units at the barracks, stable, and siege factory and attack the enemy capital. This is your supply wagon. It automatically helps your siege weapons fire more rapidly and prevents your units from being damaged by attrition. You now control at least 70% of the map. If your opponent cannot get more land before the timer in the upper right expires, he will be defeated. Hold on to at least 70% of the map for a little while longer to achieve victory.